It's now time for Party Chat Sports.
The only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Welcome back, everybody, to Party Chat Sports. The end of the 2024-25 NFL season. We've hit that point. We just watched a game. There was definitely a game on Sunday. Not a good game, but that's what we get for the Super Bowl, right? I guess sometimes you just have one team that completely puts the pedal down and dismantles a dynasty in the making, as the Eagles took down the Chiefs 40-24 in Super Bowl licks. Mahomes,
40-22.
Yeah, it was 22 because I would have won a square if
bad.
it was 24.
I did win a square.
Dang.
I did win a square.
That actually, I would have won a square if it was 0-0, and that last 2-point conversion got me, unfortunately.
That's tough.
I won
How much you
$200.
win? 200.
Yep.
I got to
Wow.
do squares. I did squares once and
Straight
didn't win
profit
anything.
because my dad just buys them all for the family.
Okay.
So
Shout out, listener of the pod, Andy.
Hey,
yes,
there we go.
he's an avid listener.
Way to go.
But Mahomes looked human, came back down to earth, and the biggest takeaway from the Super Bowl was
He looked
the
worse
Eagles
than human.
defense. Vic Fangio, what he's done there in Philly, completely rebuilding a defense that was not that good. They were not that great a year ago, and now they single-handedly won Philly a second Super Bowl. That's the big takeaway for me, is the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles from this game.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'd say
when they
so.
finish with a 50% pressure rate,
And no blitz.
that's
And,
nuts.
and a 0% blitz rate, I
Zero
believe.
blitz.
Zero blitz. Just
50% pressure.
4-man defensive line versus 5-man O-line, and they dominated. They won 50% of snaps outnumbered. That's insane.
I mean, I don't care who you are. That's unwinnable.
The Eagles had 6 sacks, 3 takeaways, and forced 5 3-and-outs in the Super Bowl. That's on top of the pressure rate, not even bringing a blitz. When you
This
get
goes
home
back
every
to
time,
yeah. Go ahead.
you're getting home every time with just 4. Ooh, I don't care who's back there or taking the snaps. You're not going to survive. You are cooked.
It was
sounds like Ohio
definitely
State's-
shades. We are not talking Ohio
I'm
State
just saying,
tonight.
kind of sounds like Ohio State's
We're not talking it. Anyway,
both champions in their respective divisions. So.
sure.
And some would argue that Ryan Day and Nick Sirianni are both
guys,
are both similar types of coaches with how much they're hated.
Yeah, they're both clowns. Anyways,
I wouldn't say hated. I think that's more of the
What do you
minority
mean?
that's hating.
What do you mean? That was the majority.
I would not consider myself in that majority.
Ryan Day
Yeah.
is the
Then
college
you're in the
football
minority.
equivalent
That's
to Nick
perfect. That's
Sirianni.
fine.
If we're keeping it a buck. Anyways,
guys,
Dylan, I thought you were about to
defense
say
wins
something insightful.
championships. That's all I'm gonna say here. It
Yeah.
proved it again. Just ask Peyton Manning how Seattle's defense was. You know, it was the same deal. Utter domination, and then on offense too, the Chiefs just couldn't. On Chiefs defense, Philly offense, they had no answer for Philly. They did bottle up Saquon. I mean, you know, that was definitely a thing.
That was the game plan. They had that down.
And they just forgot about, you know, top 5 wide receiver A.J. Brown out there. That it just reminds me that Tennessee gave him up for like a bag of chips. That's kind of insane to remember that happened.
Would
And they draft.
No,
He
Treylon
drafted-
Burks.
Yep,
Treylon
A.J.
Burks.
Brown has won a Super Bowl ring, and Treylon Burks has 1 touchdown since that
Yeah,
trade's
that's
been made.
insane.
And it was
That's
like
insane.
It was like a fumble recovery.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't even think it was a pass. or
Derrick
a
Henry
receiving
fumbled the
touchdown.
ball and he recovered in the end zone. That's his 1 touchdown.
Gosh, that's such a wow. That's so bad. All because they just didn't want to pay him. What a
Yeah, so
poverty
go ahead
organization.
and ban the Titans from ever making a trade ever again. Every trade they've ever made has been terrible.
And
The
that led
Cam
to
Ward
Mike
pick is going to
Vrabel.
be icing on the cake.
Yeah, and they
Mike
got rid of
Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. They hate being good, I guess.
Terrible owners, man.
Terrible. Move that team back to Houston. I don't even know. Do something.
Get them out.
Anyway.
Two teams in Houston.
Mahomes' legacy. What are we thinking here?
He's not
Lost a
better than
3P.
Brady.
I think there's definitely going to be that. There was a lot of overreactions that were happening after this game. Prior to this game, it was 3P. If he wins, he is undoubtedly the GOAT. And now he lost, and it's he's never Brady. Don't mention him in the same sentence. I think there's a little bit of both here. Mahomes is still not even 30 yet, and he's been to 5 Super Bowls, winning. No, yes,
He's 3-2
been to
in
5.
Super Bowl.
He's 3-2.
He's 3-2 in Super Bowls.
Same record
Brady
Tom
didn't
Brady
get to
was
his
after
5th Super Bowl. Yeah, but Brady didn't get to his 5th until he was like 34 or something, something like that. So Mahomes' career legacy, I don't think, is tarnished, and he has plenty of time to go to the Super Bowl next year again and win it, and all of a sudden he's back in the GOAT conversation. So I think that's one side of it. I think the other side is, though, that that was a very bad game, like blown out. He didn't even keep him in the game, so I think that's also a stain on the legacy. It goes both ways, and this will be a game that, unfortunately for him, will be held against him in the all-time side of things. But at the end of the day, he also has plenty of time to make up for it. So that's all I wanted to say on that.
Cam, what were you saying?
I mean, I just think it's going to be put on hold for a little bit because, you did have the chance to have the 3P and also have a better comeback than Brady. Right now, Mahomes, you're number 2, and it's only a Super Bowl number. I think that's the only thing that needs to be taken into consideration, because if we weren't talking Super Bowls, Aaron Rodgers would be top 3 of all time. Good for the Philadelphia Eagles, though. Honestly, that's
No, not good for him.
You need to quit crying over there. Do something now.
No, there's not
Do something.
worse. There's not worse
You've
people
had the rosters.
that could possibly win.
You have the franchise quarterback.
I
Do
don't know
something.
about that.
The Eagles are the worst people, just in general, that could have won.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Dylan, I appreciate you wearing the Eagles
The
shirt.
Eagles people.
I don't.
Except for CJC.
Hey, this is not intentional, but it did happen. It did happen.
Ugly.
I'm sorry. Oh, hey, it's not the same. It's
Eastern's
not the
ugly
same.
too.
Same
I don't
color.
know about that.
Whatever,
What do you
man.
mean you don't
Same
know about that, bro?
I don't know about that.
You were an Ipsy, man. Come on. Be for real.
Hey, we don't talk bad about that.
Look at the shoe.
Anyways, back to Mahomes.
I
definitely
witnessed
could.
some gunshots around there, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
These guys.
It's fine. Like the first week I was there, but it was fine.
I do think to Camp's point, though, his legacy, like the GOAT talks, are being put on hold. They should be put on hold
That's
for a
fine.
little bit. If he got the 3-peat, that's when Michael Jordan really started getting into those GOAT conversations, was when he first 3-peated. That sets you a tier
I think
above.
GOAT conversations should just be saved for when the career is over.
I do too.
Probably.
I kind of agree with that.
Unless you're
Unless you're
LeBron,
LeBron.
and you're like in year 45. I mean,
You're playing with
pretty
your
much-
son.
yeah, like he's at the point where his career could have ended 2 years ago and he'd still be the GOAT. So once you reach that point, you're fine. But Mahomes ain't even 30 yet. So
LeBron's been in the GOAT
pump the
conversation for
brakes.
10 years.
Kobe's the GOAT.
Kobe is amazing and fantastic, and that video is doing numbies on the YouTube channel. But
Kobe
he
claimed
is,
LeBron. He's the GOAT.
Kobe's
Okay.
not the GOAT, man.
he's
What'd you
not.
say?
I love him, but he's not.
Die-hard Kobe fans are the only ones that think he's the GOAT. And
He claimed
I would say
LeBron.
probably
Even
a majority of those don't.
even Chuck, who is Kobe number one, I think is on the board that LeBron is the GOAT these days. So we can ask him, but
For him, it probably goes LeBron, Kobe, Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan.
I
Right
don't think
there.
he's putting Derrick Rose all the way up there. But
Mhm.
I know we know
You
we
don't
know
know,
he
man.
we know he loves Derrick Rose. I myself
Derrick
am
Rose is his GOAT.
Kobe
back
was
at
just
Memphis.
a Jordan clone, and he's not even as good. So you can't put
Uh,
those.
What are you talking about?
Back to football.
What do you mean?
Back
What am
to
I
football.
talking
Hey, we're
about?
Party Chat Sports.
I
We
know.
can-
I
we
really
can talk,
think you
yeah.
need to retract that statement. Kobe was
Me?
a
Other than
Yeah,
Kobe, modeled
Kobe
his
was
entire
him.
game after Jordan did everything the same way as
Kobe
Jordan did.
was the same as Jordan.
I think Jordan said Kobe was the hardest player to go up against because he stole all of his moves.
Kobe played exactly like Jordan did, just about. I mean,
They were close.
Kobe is probably a better three-point shooter because Jordan didn't even have a three-point line for a long time. But
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah,
Anyways,
All
that
right.
was fun.
Go check out that
Statement.
video
It's
on the
definitely a statement.
YouTube Party Chat
It is a
Sports page.
statement. It's a
We've
good
got
one
it.
at that.
It's all right. Could be better.
But yeah, it is kind of
Anyway.
crazy that we went from a week ago talking about is Patrick Mahomes going to be the GOAT, and then when the GOAT is in the building, things kind of change for Patrick Mahomes. As he is the only times he's lost in the Super Bowl is when Tom Brady's in the building. So if you want to make sure Patrick Mahomes doesn't win Super Bowls, have Tom Brady call those games.
His aura is immaculate.
What do they?
so
it's
I think
undeniable at
the
this
other
point.
thing too. I think the other thing too just proves that running backs are continually fungible, even if you're
What?
Saquon. Listen, because there's been a stat that every year, like the leading rusher in the Super Bowl
It's not the
is
running
like, it's not the top running back, it's not the highest paid running back on the team. You want to know who the leading rushers for each team were this year?
back.
For the Chiefs,
Patrick Mahomes.
with 25 yards was Patrick Mahomes, and for the Eagles with 72 yards was Jalen Hurts.
That's
Yeah,
an
but-
Andy Reid effect, though.
Andy Reid's the reason that they couldn't run for more than 25 yards with
Listen,
the running back.
having a running back like Saquon on the field alone affects the game. You can't say I don't think the Eagles win the Super Bowl or even get to the Super Bowl if they don't have Saquon.
So they
Getting to the Super Bowl is a valid argument, but if you take Saquon off the field this game, they're still winning.
I don't
Yeah,
know
with-
about that because it's Kenneth Gainwell.
With the job their defense did, yeah, they're winning the game,
With
100%.
Kenneth Gain, okay, yes, okay, but
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
They're not putting up 40. The defense is gonna have to work a
But
lot
no,
The
harder.
Right.
defense put up 14, didn't it? Was it 14? Or was it,
The Chiefs
was it
didn't score a
7?
point. The Chiefs didn't score their first touchdown until the end of the third quarter.
You could take off all the players from offense, and
Are
the
we
Eagles
really
win
s-
this game 7-0.
We're
Like,
not being
Saquon
serious
is a
right now.
Saquon's a great running back. He's the reason the Eagles got here, but he's not the reason the Eagles won this particular game. That's the argument.
Correct statement. It's a true statement.
That's fine, but it's the
If you
a
take
statement
Saquon
of
away-
this just proves that they're fungible, and I can't agree with that.
I also said that. No. That's fine. You don't have to agree, but
Saquon
it's
being
true.
on the field alone it attracts attention. You have to know where
It
he
affects
is,
the game plan.
and that's why Jahan Dotson almost got a touchdown.
almost.
But-
We're playing almost games around here.
Well, a tush push is technically
Jalen
a
Hurts,
touchdown.
push.
You get to the 1 yard line, they should be just giving the touchdown to whoever had to play before.
Yep. When the Chiefs first scored their touchdown, the score was 34-6. So at that point, Saquon really didn't impact. Yes, they game planned around him.
And all the backups were in at that point, so.
Yeah, the
That's
backups
crazy.
are going in the fourth. Kenny Pickett taking Super Bowl snaps.
Backups in the Super
This
Bowl
is exactly
nuts.
what you dreamed of Dylan when you took him in the first round.
Listen, if you would have
Kenny
told me a
Pickett.
year ago that Kenny Pickett has a Super Bowl ring a year from now, I would have lost my mind. I would have been so happy, and it couldn't have been much worse. It couldn't have been much worse.
Carson
I don't even
Wentz
have a
having to watch.
quarterback right now, man. I don't even have one. My
Same.
quarterback is Skylar Thompson right now, man. That's where we're at.
Tyrod Taylor, baby.
Bring Kenny
That's,
back.
hey. Oh man.
Mason Rudolph. Josh
No,
Dobbs.
dude. I would bring back Josh Dobbs, 100%. He'd be
For
a
3
perfect
games.
backup. He'd
3
be a
games to
perfect
release him.
backup for Justin Fields. He'd be perfect for Justin Fields. I'll talk
Aaron
all about
Rodgers.
that in the future. Later this
Yeah.
week. Hint, hint, hint.
Dylan does have a Steelers video going up on the feed later this week at Party Chat Sports.
Let me write that down, actually, Josh Dobbs. That's excellent.
You're welcome.
It's my pen.
Dylan trying to figure where everything's out in the new crib.
It's true. I'm lost.
Miscombobulated. But yeah, this Super Bowl just kind of sucked. I hate seeing blowouts. Granted, there's been a ton of blowouts throughout the history of the game. Throughout the 59 Super Bowls. Pretty sure it's 59. I think that's what LIX is. There's been a lot of blowouts. The last time the Chiefs lost a Super Bowl was a blowout. Never liked seeing these. Because a lot of people expected, even if the Eagles were to win, the line was only 1.5. Like, you expected this to be close. And the Eagles' defense, again, that's what I'm going to continue to harp on with this game, is the front seven and then the back end being able to cover long enough to where it allowed the front seven to get home if they weren't getting home after 0.2 seconds. And then Jalen Hurts. I thought the thing I'm going to say about Hurts in this game, yes, he was the Super Bowl MVP. I thought he played better in the last Super Bowl than he did this one. And maybe that's just because he had to. But this Super Bowl, he had 3 total touchdowns. Can't take that away from him, even the tush push.
He made a couple nice throws.
He made a couple. The bomb to Devontae Smith. The call on that, too, where it's like, all right, they're just going to run this out. Nope, they're going for the, whatever he said, the killer.
Dagger.
And dagger, that's what it was. That was nice. He had a couple nice balls to A.J. Brown, but I thought he played better in the first Super Bowl than he did at this
Other than when he spotted the Chiefs 6 points and they lost. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that was, yeah. Other
I
than
definitely
that,
think
but
Jalen Hurts played fine in this game.
Yeah.
Good even. I think he played well.
I'm not saying he did.
he
I'm just
did.
saying I thought he played better the last time than he did today. Or this week. Not
Yeah.
today, but this year.
But this goes to show you, if you all it takes is a superstar defense, maybe one of the best rosters created with 2 top wide receivers, the best running back in the league, the best D-line in the league, and a above average quarterback can win a Super Bowl. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And that's kind of the argument. Like, every year, whenever a
Yeah, but
different
the
team wins a
the
Super Bowl,
cap is going to catch up.
So Jerry says.
Cap's catching up. The Bills coming due.
you ever get Jerry Jones at
Buddy,
NFL
if the
cap-
Eagles
dollar
do
cap-
anything
Be a
of
while.
if the Eagles do anything the Saints did, they're going to be fined for like a decade, and then they'll
you
be
think they
back.
care? You think they care?
Yeah.
They're 2-1 in Super Bowls the last 8 years.
Jerry Jones always said, I'd write whatever check for a Super Bowl win. All right, where's it at then? Where's it at? Eagles just did
Where's
it.
the check?
Where you at? Where's the check at, Jerry?
Oh man,
Fraud. Anyways, freaking fraud.
But it's
Eagles
going to be
still suck.
interesting to see how teams build out their rosters after this one. Because every time a different team wins a Super Bowl, the other 31 teams that weren't or that didn't win tend to try replicating that. So it's going to be teams are going to
Maybe
look
a
at their
lot of-
quarterbacks.
I don't know
a
if
lot of D linemen.
It's going to
I
be
don't know
a
if
lot of
I don't know if
linemen,
assembling the best roster in the league is repeatable.
but they're going, especially with this year's draft. One thing that we're going to talk about a lot this upcoming draft season is how loaded the defensive line is. A lot of teams might double dip at the defensive line this NFL draft.
Maybe Mason Graham will murder someone and fall down to 12.
To 7?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
But teams are going to look at the Eagles and say, all right, they won with their offensive line and defensive line. And then assemble, try assembling star wide receivers, like with the Lions, actually. If the Lions might be the best chance to replicate this.
Shut up.
Because if they're able to, I'm being serious here, just hear me out.
Now who's the hater?
Not listening to him.
Because they have a stud wide or running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. They
Just lost
have
only 2 people that matter to their franchise, too. Let that be known.
I
no,
don't know
Dan
if
Campbell's
that's
still
the
there.
case.
Dan Campbell's still there.
Yeah, big
They're
rah-rah
already
guy.
building
That's,
up-
that's really going to help the game plan.
It's what Nick Sirianni just won a Super Bowl, brother. Like that's
Well,
exactly
if he's
what he
done
did.
it if he's been there with multiple coordinators, I think Sirianni might, be a good coach.
He's not.
He can be a good coach and also be a clown. I think there's, both things can be fine.
But anyways,
let's not forget
Look
that
at
they
Sean
got
Payton.
gifted
That dude's a clown.
Vic Fangio. Vic
They did.
Fangio got fired from the Dolphins for being too
Yes,
hard on
sir.
the team, and he wanted to go home to Pennsylvania where his family is. So he's like, "Oh, the Eagles? Yeah, I guess I'll just work here." And they just lucked into one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, if not the best right now. So
Plus the dude that hates Mahomes. 'Cause he's never
Classic.
beat him.
classic Eagles.
yeah, must be nice. Shout out to
Anyways.
Cooper DeJean, by the way, getting his first interception. Getting his first interception, taking it to the house.
White Jackie Robinson.
I was going to say he kind of broke the barrier there. I don't know how far we want to take these comments, so that's probably a good place to stop. Especially in the midst of February. But
He disgraced February, to be honest.
started off the month. Never mind. It was
It's the end of the game.
crazy seeing Mahomes look human. But again, back to everything that we've been saying, it's all been the defense. Like, Vic Fangio was the actual Super Bowl MVP for this team.
Yep. Well, they have like 20 yards in the first half, something like that.
I
They
mean,
had
it
like
was
30 at the end of the third, or like midway through the third. Like, yeah, it was. At one point, the Eagles almost had more points than Chiefs had yards. It was
the Chiefs had 10 yards, and the Eagles had 10 first downs at one point.
Nice.
that's nuts.
That's good.
Cam, what were you saying? Cam,
That's not good.
I thought you were saying
Hello?
something.
Yo, you were cooked
Hello?
there for a second.
Oh no,
You're good.
And-
this is
You're
going to be
good.
interesting.
You're good. You're fine.
We're fine.
All right. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's the blueprint. All right, we got the blueprint. It's just draft a whole bunch of really good D linemen, and you'll be fine. And also like multiple CB1s in one draft class with rookies.
And free
You'll be
agents.
fine.
Don't
Also-
forget the free agents.
Yeah,
Sign a
Go
stud
for big
running back.
names, essentially.
and also like actually make
Actually-
moves. Like acquire AJ Brown, acquire Saquon Barkley. Like actually do stuff. Spend money. It must be nice.
There's
Just-
not
That's the
enough
one
cap
thing
for
the
that.
Eagles. That's the one thing the
Only
Eagles
so
do
many
extremely
slices
well.
of the pie.
Well, Eagles got that.
Eagles got two
expandable
pies.
pie.
They're cheating.
Yeah, Eagles go to Costco and they get like the pies in bulk. That's one thing that we all hate it, but the Eagles are really good at is whenever they lose, they are still aggressive. Doesn't matter how far they get. They went to a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz, and then like 4 years later came back to the Super Bowl with an entirely different roster. Like
I will say,
Howie Roseman has been good at turning it over.
it helps when your quarterback is only like $13 million against the cap.
He just got
That's-
paid,
that's
but his cap
helpful.
numbers,
All
well,
pushed off.
I'm
They
sure.
know
I'm
what they're
sure
doing.
it's all signing
it will
bonuses
be.
and
You know who has the highest cap number at quarterback next season?
is it Dak?
It's Dak Prescott at $90 million.
Yes,
That's
sir.
crazy.
$90 million. Oh my
Yes,
god.
sir.
Deshaun at
Hey, that's why-
73, and then Patrick Mahomes at 66, and then everyone else is lower. How does that even happen? Jalen Hurts' cap number
Somebody-
next year, 21.
Only so many slices of the pie, man.
Bro gave
That's a-
Dak the whole
that's a
pie.
big
He
ol'
gave him the
slice.
whole
Yeah.
pie.
That was the off-season move. Was we just paid our quarterback and gave him all the money.
And you didn't even do it in the offseason. You did it like right before the first
Did
game
it
of the year.
The day before, the day of the first
it
game.
might. It was.
actually.
It was. It was.
It was the
Wow.
first NFL Sunday of the regular season. Like the news was that morning.
Yep. And then you guys lost to the Browns,
It's crazy.
if I remember correctly.
Serious
So, yeah.
franchise. So
Must be nice having a serious franchise.
Hope to be a part of one someday.
The standard
Yeah.
is the standard around here. So
Same old Jets. All right, I
How come
think
we
that's
went
a.
0 for 4 on picking good teams. I mean, Dylan, I guess you did. You went kind of.
I got
0 for
lucky.
4,
I got lucky, and I'll never be lucky again.
I didn't watch football until 2010. So that's my excuse. I just watched the Jets make it to the AFC Championship game, or I knew they made it to the AFC title game in 2009. Started watching them in 2010, and they
So you
not-
bandwagoned? Is
I
that what you're
absolutely
saying?
did. As a 10-year-old, I bandwagoned. 9,
That's
10,
what you
whatever
get.
it was.
That's what you get.
That's exactly
15
what I
years
get.
later. 15 years
I-
later. That's crazy.
Yep. They have not made it. The first playoff game I remember watching of the Jets was that 2010 playoff run when they beat Peyton Manning in his final game as a Colt. That's
And then
the first
imagine
playoff game I
them never
remember.
going back since the first year you've ever watched football.
Yep. All I know is losing seasons. So yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Sorry.
I think that's a good turn.
Yeah.
Nah. Well, you good there, Drew?
I just. Oh.
Your first game was the best, bro. It's been downhill ever since.
Second game, because the second game was when we beat the Patriots at Foxborough.
You were on a good trajectory for like Aaron Rodgers, bro. You ran out of the tunnel. Everything fell apart.
Oh my.
You made it You made it 7 days, and that was after that. It was over.
Oh, man. Oh.
All right.
Well, I
probably
think that's a
place to turn.
good. That's a good transition to,
Eagles suck.
moving
Sorry.
forward. We're going to be talking draft and free agency and that sort of thing, and how to fix the 15-year drought of never winning anything. So before we do any quiz or anything, I just wanted to pose to you fellas, name your number one favorite draft prospect in this upcoming draft. It doesn't have to be like the best or like, first round guy, just your favorite guy that you hope your team drafts this year.
Cam?
Pass. 'Cause I have no idea.
Put down the
Who's your
spot.
favorite? Okay. How about this? Who's your favorite Buckeye that's in this draft class?
Good
I'd
question.
love to have Tyreek. I would love to have Tyreek.
Dude, you had a
Dang,
mock
but you-
draft.
you-
You had a mock draft where you took a Michigan player
What did I
right
pick
in front of
what did I
Tyreek Quinn.
what did I pick the next day?
You did. You made up for it, but it
Thank you.
was kind of crazy.
I didn't pay
Still
attention
on the
to that.
board too.
So
Anyways,
Tyreek's a good
Tyreek.
one. And again, that goes to what we mentioned earlier. The depth of this defensive line class is huge. I got like
Very
tight
good.
ends though.
Very good, very nice.
I like Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end out of Bowling Green,
Of course
Dog.
you do.
which I hate to say, but
Yeah,
I,
of course.
got to support the MAC. And
I respect it.
he led the nation in receiving yards for tight ends. He's a versatile guy, and if the Jets can take him like day 2, I think that'd be solid.
Solid.
You're talking about players that we can actually have, or players I just like.
Your favorite player that you hope your team drafts, that sort of thing.
Because my favorite player is probably Abdul Carter. He's a dog.
Yeah, he is a dog.
He's a dog.
This is his
So
first year
So
playing
then what's your
defensive
favorite
end.
player that you hope they draft then? Because he's a dog.
Penn State bum.
Probably
Penn State makes good NFL players.
Yeah, it can't be
defensive
honest.
ends.
It don't matter. Every Super Bowl except for 5 has had a Penn State player. Every Super Bowl ever. Except for 5.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I
that's
hate
funny.
that stat, honestly. I do. Make any sense.
I like Mike Green as well.
I've seen you
Similar.
draft him a couple times. Yeah.
I think if he's at 12, that would be a good pick. I like Mike Green. I'm gonna name a couple because I feel like it.
I'm
Mike
also
Green.
going to name a couple.
I like Tet McMillan, the Arizona.
I really
He'd
like
be a good
him.
fit. He's like 6'5" or something. Who else? Scadaboo, of course. Scadaboom. Scadago. He's up there. So That's good. I think 3 is good.
All right. I'm gonna say Travion Henderson.
I said
He's,
4 on accident. That's my bad. Hey, there you go. You got the
Oh,
thing back.
Hey,
I think
got 5 big booms.
I don't know how I did that last the one time it was like fireworks. Travion, yeah, I want a home run guy, and he is like the guy. My backup to Travion is RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, is that dude?
Yes.
CJ Harvey.
Yes.
That was
He's
had it right.
like he's also an explosive running back. So that's my like running back pick. I want one of those two guys. D line, I got a couple as well. I think Darius Alexander out of Toledo is going to be a dog. Hoping maybe a round 2 guy or round 3 guy if he slips, but I don't think he's slipping. I think he's only going up the draft board for teams. He dominated at the Senior Bowl.
It's got a Quinion Mitchell type trajectory going right now, where
It's
dominates
he's
Senior
going
Bowl.
high.
If he has a good combine, he could go from being a day 2 guy to being drafted somewhere late in the first round.
Yeah, so we'll see. But he's a guy, and then Deion Walker as well, Kentucky Wildcat. But 6'7", 300-pounder on the D lineman, man, is something I would like to see on my team, given what we saw on Sunday with the D line.
Don't worry about the pad level, man. Pad level, it's too high.
Yeah, but he's got good pad level, so
It's too high.
I don't know, man. I need someone to stop the run because Steelers D line, Cam Hayward's getting old, so you gotta do something. I'd be okay drafting both of those guys if you go. Like a Egbuka in round 1, and then just 2 D linemen round 2, round 3. CJ Harvey in the 4th or something if he's there. Do what you got to do. Get big.
It is kind of crazy and funny, at least for me, your love for Ohio State guys this year.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
Draft the player, not the helmet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though
Yep.
Ohio State's got cool helmets later in the season with all the stickers on it, but
Yeah, that's definitely. I'll say it. I'll straight up admit it. Without the Buckeyes, the helmet doesn't look as cool. But once the Buckeyes, the helmet's loaded with the Buckeyes on there, it's a pretty sick helmet.
it's sick. You draft the helmet sometimes because there is a pedigree there, like playing in the Big Ten, playing in the SEC, as a 4-year starter or something, you got that experience. But
Well, the Saban run, I mean, think of all the NFL players currently, the good NFL players that played under Saban. Even though
One just scored a touchdown in the
the
Super Bowl
first
for
one,
the first
the
time.
first
that's crazy.
to be drafted out of Alabama, because like my brother was saying, like, well, then Jalen Hurts wasn't drafted out of Alabama; he was drafted out of Oklahoma.
Doesn't sound
So
like he
that's
respected
where-
what he said.
I can't believe Julio didn't score a touchdown.
See, that's the other thing my brother said. Like,
Yeah.
in Julio, no. Julio didn't
28
score.
points to like the Tevin Colemans of the world, I guess. The weirdest players always score in Super Bowls for whatever reason.
Yep. Well, like who said it earlier? Who was the bum that almost scored for
Game
the
winner
Eagles?
to Mecole Hardman.
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson almost scored earlier. Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney scored in the same Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right. Speaking of which, on the Super Bowl question a little bit, and also we kind of mentioned before we get into quizzes, Cam, I believe, has some sort of quiz for us.
Do.
My vote is we do it next time.
How long would it
for that
take?
now? We just started.
How much
We'll do
time
it
you
next
got?
time.
Do it right now.
My
So
vote
Cam,
is-
come on.
I got it up. I mean, do we want to do it?
Let's go. Let's go.
3 strikes?
Yeah.
Three
Three
strikes.
strikes.
All right, Cam.
The team that you will
Walk
be
through it.
choosing the roster from this week is the 2014 Super Bowl losing Seattle Seahawks.
Super Bowl losing Seattle Seahawks. Okay.
So we will. I'll just go straight down. Dylan, what's going on?
I don't even know who they lost to. Was it Denver?
Patriots. I'll give you. You lost to the
Oh.
Patriots.
It's the Marshawn Lynch
Yeah.
non-using game.
Well, Drew, you were first. So do you want to stick with that answer?
Marshawn Lynch.
Might as well.
All
All
right.
right, Dylan.
Russell Wilson.
Correct. Gil.
Richard Sherman.
That's correct. Back to Drew.
Malcolm Butler.
What?
That is incorrect.
Because it's a
Hello?
Super Bowl
Oh,
losing
we're on the
team.
we're on Seahawks only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game sucks ass.
Do we want to?
already.
Do we want to let him? Do we want to let him
No.
have another chance?
Peace. I'll see you
Yeah.
next time.
I don't know. This is a pretty notable team.
Keep it
There's a
moving.
lot
Keep
of
it
names.
moving. It's okay. It's okay. I forgot the rule. That's on me.
Doug Baldwin.
That's correct.
Earl Thomas.
That is correct.
Cam Chancellor.
Yep.
Bobby Wagner.
Yep.
Who was the guy that caught the cat? Or Jermaine Kearse?
Jermaine Kearse was on this squad, the number 2 receiver.
That's who I was going to say.
Michael Bennett.
That is correct. The number 2
Earl
defensive
Thomas.
end.
Gil already said that.
You already said that.
So,
Oh,
Still a lot of notable names.
that fullback that was deaf in one ear. I think I'm right, but I don't know his name.
Can you tell me the ethnicity?
no.
You know,
He's a
You know
fullback.
what?
He's probably white.
he's not actually.
Oh.
Deion Washington,
Deion Washington.
kick returner, or Leon Washington. It's one of them.
Hold on. Okay, gotta go to the freaking bottom of it.
That's Bobby.
That is
Either way.
incorrect.
I don't have any more, so I'm out.
That's
I
what
don't-
I'm saying, bro. I'm done.
And I
Let's,
got it anyway. So goodbye, Party Shot Sports. Until
Oh,
next
see
time.
ya,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah.
Adios.
I gotta
Going
go.
out. All right. Bye.
Stay tuned for my Steelers episode later.
Dylan comes in last.
I'm last.
Loser. All right.
All right.
Was Brandon Browner on that team?
I believe so. No, he was not. I think he was drafted a year later. Or he might
I
have
think
been
he was-
on the Patriots.
He was on the Patriots that year. Yep, because
So
it
it's
was
1-1.
Patriots and Revis.
We can go sudden death right now. Or I can give you guys a hint. I'm going to give you a hint for this next round.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 hints. So one was a quarterback for the Vikings. One receiver died on the field in a later season. Another receiver had his breakout game this year. We have a Hall of Good defensive end that may or may not have played for the Chiefs. Bitcoin guy. And the last hint, a really good punter that played for the Packers.
What?
Also the Super Bowl MVP. And 2 other notable linebackers.
Oh, I know the Super Bowl MVP.
I know what position he plays, but I don't know what his name is.
A quarterback that played for the Vikings. I can't believe you're not getting these receivers, to be honest.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about when one of them died. But I don't remember which one it was, so I'm just going to guess, and this is probably going to be wrong. But Tyler Lockett.
Can you
I don't know
change
what
the
Tyler
first name for
Lockett
me?
was.
Give me the first name, and I'll give it to you. I like to say this name when I give random names.
Chad.
It's Ricardo.
Ricardo Lockett.
Ricardo Lockett. Gil, you
When
can
did
win
he
it right
die?
here. No, he didn't die. He just died on the field. I'm pretty sure it was against
against
the
the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Tyler Lockett got revenge. I knew one of
Yes.
them died, and one of them laid out Sean Lee.
Gil, can you win it right here?
The Super Bowl MVP from like the year before, Malcolm Smith.
That is true. That is correct. Drew, do you have one more rebuttal?
A quarterback that played for the Vikings.
A quarterback that played for the Vikings. He's not your
And he's only
stereotypical.
14.
Gil, you are correct.
No.
What?
He is.
He was number 7.
Yes, he was.
Am I still guessing?
I'll give you a 10-second timer. I don't think he's guessing. It's Tavares
Case Keenum.
Jackson.
What'd you say?
Some Case
Keenum.
Keenum.
No.
So the only notable names that you guys missed are Chris Matthews, number 13, the guy that had like a touchdown and 6 receptions, the guy that was working at Foot Locker.
Okay.
You had
Okay.
Cliff Averill, KJ
He
Wright,
was a Lion.
KJ Wright, and then Bruce Irvin. And the punter was John Ryan.
Wasn't there a kicker like Stephen Hauschka or something like that too?
That is the exact name. Yes, you were right. Oh, they had Kevin Williams on the squad
Crazy.
too.
Who's their
A lot of
long
guys.
snapper?
All right, I think that's going to be
it.
a wrap.
That's a quiz. Gil, are you 2-0?
Thanks, Kim. Gil's undefeated.
I'll pick a more notable team next time. They were
I
going.
think it's
Next time we need Cam versus Gil. And don't
Ooh.
suck.
I think
No, they-
one of these we'll do like our own teams where somebody gives us a random year and we each have like the Jets 2011 season and the Cowboys 2011 season. Like you give us a year and we each have to name players from our own specific teams.
I
That
do like that.
like I think
Like that a
we
lot.
do that at some point when we're hitting a lull in the off season and there's not much going on. Like we could definitely do more of these style, trying to guess random players. But we are not quite. I mean, actually, now we are into the off season. The off season is here. Draft season's
Season day
upon
2.
us. Yeah, the scouting combine is going to be here in less than a month. Actually, that's pretty quick. We are, I think, about a month or so away from free agency, and it's all going to come up on us quick. So make sure you're staying tuned to the feed at Party Chat Sports. We'll keep you up to date with everything that we've got going on our Twitter. We're going to try putting some team-related content, so like some Steelers. I'll probably get a Jets thing out here sometime this week. And then anything else that we're able to record along the way, we'll make sure that we get up for you guys at Party Chat Sports. But check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell anybody that you know that loves sports as much as we do to check us out on YouTube, Spotify. Check out our TikTok as well. Anything and everything, all at Party Chat Sports. Until next time, that's the conclusion of Season 2 of Party Chat Sports and the conclusion of the 2024-25 season. We'll be back next time talking off-season topics, draft, free agency. Got it all coming up here soon. So we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Go Cowboys.